I need you to stay with me for the next few minutes, because what I'm about to tell you is the kind of story that changes the way you see the people closest to you. I walked into our penthouse in downtown Chicago, expecting to find my wife of 6 years, Elena, waiting for dinner. Instead, I found a cold silence and a ring left on a marble countertop. By the time the sun went down, every memory of our life together had been rewritten by her betrayal. And what I found out next, most people can't even bring themselves to say out loud. Before we go deeper into this story, take a second and hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and let us know where you're watching from. I'm curious to know how far these stories travel. It wasn't just a breakup, it was a scheduled execution of our marriage. Elena didn't cry. She didn't even look me in the eye. She just pointed toward the balcony, toward the shimmering skyline of the city she always felt she deserved more of. "Mark," she said, her voice like ice, "you're a good man, but good doesn't buy a legacy. Julian can give me the world. You can only give me a comfortable life." Julian Thorne, a real estate mogul whose ego was only surpassed by his bank account. She expected me to crumble. She stood there in her designer coat, waiting for the tears, the begging, the please stay that she could feed her vanity with. But I just looked at the ring. The diamonds sparkled under the recessed lighting of the home I had worked 18-hour days to provide. I didn't say a word. I simply opened the door and gestured for her to leave. The look of confusion on her face was the first victory of many. And within 48 hours, Elena was gone from my life, or so she thought. She moved into Thorne's estate in Lake Forest, posting her new royal life all over social media. She wanted me to watch. She wanted the world to see her upgrade. Meanwhile, I went to work, but I wasn't going to my architectural firm. I was going to a private office in the city's financial district to meet with a man who specialized in uncovering the invisible. You see, Elena thought she knew my finances. She thought I was just a successful architect. What she didn't know was that for the last decade, I had been the silent partner in a tech infrastructure firm that Julian Thorne was currently trying to acquire to save his crumbling empire. He was over-leveraged and he was desperate. Julian Thorne was a predator, but he was a predictable one. He used people like currency. He hadn't stolen Elena because he loved her. He took her because she was mine, and he liked taking things from men he considered beneath him. Little did he know he had just invited a Trojan horse into his life. Elena was a talker, and I knew exactly what secrets she'd spill to feel important in his world. As I watched them through the lens of private investigators and financial audits, I saw the cracks. Julian was using Elena to gain access to social circles she had cultivated through my family's name. Before we go deeper, I would love to hear your point of view. Tell me what part hit you the hardest in my story and share your thoughts in the comments. The confrontation didn't happen in a dark alley. It happened at the Silver Oaks Charity Gala. I arrived late, looking better than I ever had. When Elena saw me, she smirked, clutching Julian's arm. "Mark, I'm surprised you could afford a ticket," she whispered as I passed. I didn't stop. I just leaned in and whispered back, "Enjoy the champagne, Elena. It's the last glass Julian can actually afford." The next morning, the news broke. Thorne Industries' acquisition of Nexus Tech had been blocked by the majority shareholder. That shareholder was me. Without that merger, Julian's loans were called in. The richer man was suddenly a man with a negative net worth and a lot of explaining to do to the feds. The Lake Forest estate wasn't Julian's. It was leased through a holding company that I had quietly purchased a month prior. 2 weeks after the gala, I stood on that same driveway as the moving trucks arrived. This time, it wasn't Elena leaving me. It was the bank leaving Julian. I watched from my SUV as Elena stepped out of the house, clutching a single suitcase. Julian was nowhere to be found. He was likely with his lawyers. She saw me sitting there. The arrogance was gone. The coldness had melted into a desperate, frantic heat. She ran to my window, tapping on the glass. "Mark, Mark, please," she sobbed as I rolled the window down just an inch. "He lied to me. He used me. I made a mistake. I was confused. We can go back to the penthouse. We can start over." I looked at her, and for the first time I felt absolutely nothing. No anger, no love, just the clarity of seeing someone for exactly who they are. "Elena," I said quietly, I didn't come here to take you back. I came here because I'm the new owner of this property. You have 10 minutes to clear your things before the security team escorts you to the gate." Her jaw dropped. The poor husband she left was now the man who held her entire future in his hands. But the twist wasn't just the money. I handed her a folder. Inside were photos of Julian with 3 other women, women he had been seeing the entire time he was wooing her. He hadn't even been faithful for a month. He didn't want a wife. He wanted a trophy to spite me. She had traded a life of genuine love for a cheap imitation of wealth. Elena sat on her suitcase at the end of the driveway as I drove away. I didn't look in the rearview mirror. I had spent years building a life for us, but now I was going to build a life for me. The city felt different that night. The lights of Chicago didn't look like a challenge anymore. They looked like home. Why do people ask me if I hate her? I tell them no. Hate is an emotion you waste on someone you still care about. I simply treated her like a bad investment. I liquidated my interest and moved on to more profitable ventures. If you were in my shoes, facing a betrayal that felt this calculated, what would you do? Share your thoughts in the comments. In the end, Elena tried to sue for a settlement, but the prenuptial agreement she had laughed at years ago was ironclad. She ended up working at a high-end boutique, selling dresses to women who lived the life she used to have. Julian Thorne vanished into the world of white-collar litigation. And me? I'm still here, at Family Secrets and Revenge, telling the truth that others are too afraid to speak. This journey taught me that the best revenge isn't a loud shout. It's a quiet success. It's the moment you realize you don't need the person who thought you were nothing. Thank you for staying with me through this emotional journey. If this story resonated with you, please give this video a like and hit that subscribe button to join our community here at Family Secrets and Revenge. Your support means the world to us and helps us keep sharing these powerful narratives. What are your overall thoughts on how I handled Elena's betrayal? Let's talk about it in the comments below. Until next time, stay vigilant